Good morning, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and today I want to bring you guys my Genesis Gold Prime Punk Goblin Biker Material Actor deck profile in the new Genesis format. So this is post-Doom Dimensions, and I really was been tinkering around with the point system and trying to figure out what is the best way to play this deck going into the brand new format. And this is what I came up with. As you can see, it's a 60 card pile. And I'm going to go over every card real quick, why this deck actually feels insane in the new format, and why it's pretty awesome. So first things first, punks have 0 points in the entire system. The only card they have that is on the list is Emergency Teleport, which is 40 points each, which I am not currently playing in the deck. I thought 40 points is just way too much, even for 2 copies, especially because we're playing Goblin Biker. If you don't know, Goblin Biker has a single card on the list, that being Goblin Biker Grand Entrance with a total of 33 points, which I think is a little too high. However, it is just a one-up for the deck, so that is perfectly fine with me. It means I can still play Goblin Biker in the deck because it's literally just the one high point card we are playing. Luckily for us, every other card on the ban list, or not ban list, the point system is perfectly good with us. Psychic and Punisher, as of recording this video, is already going to be a side deck card. So the fact that it's 20 points on the system means it just gives us another reason not to play it. The reason why we're not playing it is because there's a lot of ways to out Psychic and Punisher nowadays, and he's not even a full towers. He's a pseudo towers. And there's so many cars that either get bigger than him or they just crash into him. He doesn't have any interruptions, thus we cut him. Not to mention we got some brand new cards that kind of do what Psychic and Punisher always wanted to do, but just do it better. Speaking of which, Utopic Draco Future, he's also been cut. He is 20 points in the ladder, and we don't play him anymore because we have number F0 Utopic Future Zexal, which basically does the same thing, if not better. It's kind of filling the role of Psychic and Punisher and Utopic Draco Future. This card is actually amazing. It is 0 points, and all it requires is 2 XYZ monsters of the same rank, so it's even more generic than Utopic Draco Future. Basically, it gains the attack and defense equal to the combined ranks of all XYZ monsters you control and in your opponent's graveyard times 500. So this guy, literally at the end of your field, will be like a 7,000, 8,000 attack monster. Your opponent's monsters can't target monsters for attacks except this one. Also, your opponent can't target other monsters on the field with card effects except this one. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, detach one material from this card, take control of one monster your opponent controls, but then for the rest of this turn, this card can be destroyed by battle or card effects. It's a very annoying monster to deal with, and it's very easy to make in this deck, so it is a really nice inclusion to replace Psychic and Punisher, and of course, our lovely, lovely Utopic Draco Future. Not to mention, we got some brand new cards in Doom of Dimensions. We got, of course, the Axon Kicker Oracle and the Serene Psychic Sorceress. So these 2 cards are amazing. They come out in Doom, allowing us to finally play Teleport Fusion, which is really nice, allowing us to basically have access to our lovely, lovely brand new Fusion monster. This card is very easy to access because it's Serene Psychic Sorceress, because it allows you to set it directly from deck, allowing you to have free access to a fusion monster who is basically Psalm Warning on legs. After this card is Fusion Summon, it gains 1,000 power for each Synchro, XYZ, and Link monster uses material. And until the next turn, you only use each of the following effects of Axon Kicker Oracle once per turn. But when your opponent would special summon a monster's quick effect, negate the summon. If you do, banish that monster's. If this future summon monster would be sent to graveyard, banish a teleport normal spell or quick play spell from your graveyard, then spell summon this card. Now, one of the big issues with normal builds that I had planned for this video is that because of this format, emergency teleport we cannot play. Meaning, mine procedure is another monster that I had to cut from this list. If you know, my procedure is one of the new psychic monsters we got from the previous set that was actually a 3-0 starter for this deck. So we had technically lost 6 starters in this format because we lost 3 E-Telly and we lost some 3 Mime Procedure, the monster that searched E-Telly. So that kind of sucks, but honestly, there's so many 1-card stars in his deck, it's still perfectly fine. And any 2 level 3s is still full combo. Everything in the deck is basically 0 points. The Speedroid Terratops are 3 each. The lovely Ghost Ogre in the side is currently 5 points. So do keep that in mind. Raigekis are 7. Dark Holes are 3. Dark Lure No Mores are 0, which is pretty amazing. And then, of course, we have our other cards. Twin Twister as our spell and trap removal is 0 points. Same thing with Cosmic Cyclone. Snatch Steal, I believe, was 7 points, which was fine because we had like exactly 7 points left. And then, of course, we have Kara the Divine Incarnate. This is basically the points for our Nibiru. This is a 0-point card. Same thing with DD Crow. And that is why we're playing it in the deck, because we just didn't have enough points for Nibiru, the Primal Being. That being said, I'm pretty happy with the results. So if you're counting up the points real quick, we have 5 for Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. We then have another 15 for Book of Eclipse. That's another card we're playing in this deck, so that's 20 points. Then these Raigekis and these Dark Holes were Droll and Lockbird and Effect Veiler. However, I decided to cut them out because I felt like these cards going second felt more powerful than Droll. And, of course, your lovely Effect Veiler. I just felt like you rather have board breakers than hand traps in this format. And I felt like Book of Eclipse, Raigeki, Dark Hole, and Dark Lure No More going second feels way better. And we do have cards going first, like again, Cosmic, Twin Twister, Ghost Ogre, and DD Crow that we can side into. Again, we're playing 12 board breakers in the main deck in this format. 3 Book of Eclipse, which again is 5 points each, so that's 15. Ghost Ogre on the side makes it 20. The Raigekis are 7 points each, so these were our Veilers. So that's 21 points there. So that makes us 41. And then Dark Hole are 3 points each, which is another 9 points. So I believe that puts us up to 50 right there. And then we have another 9 points in Speedroid Terratop. So Speedroid Terratop is 3 points each. So that gives us another 9. So that puts us at 59. And then 33 of our points went to the Grand Entrance, which I believe puts us into like 93 or 94. And then Snatch Steal is our other 7-point card, which I think totals our full points. So let me do the math real quick. So calculator, because it's really early in the morning and I just don't have the brain capacity at the moment to just do basic math. Alright, so we have 7 points from Snatch Steal. We have another 9 points from our Speedroid Terratop because they're 3 each. At least I believe they're 3 each. I can double check that real quick. I believe so. Speedroid. I believe so. I did all the point calculations yesterday. Now it's early in the morning when I'm recording this video. I should have just wrote it all down, but I just didn't because I was a little lazy. So give me one moment as I look it all up again. Speedroid Terratop is 3 points. That's what I thought. So that would be 9 points for a play set. And then, of course, 7 points for the Snatch Steal, which is a one-of. Another 5 points for the Ghost Ogre Snowbat. Another 9 points for the Dark Holes. And then another 15 points for the Book of Eclipses. Another 33 points for a lovely Grand Entrance. And then another 21 points for our Raigekis, making us to 99 points, which is pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with that. We still have 1 point to spare if you really wanted to, and I think that's pretty good. All the Gold Prime monsters all the Material Actor monsters and all the Punk monsters have 0 points in the system, besides E-Telly, of course. So the only card that is like in archetype that you have to worry about is Grand Entrance. I value Grand Entrance over E-Telly as a starter. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with this list. It comes out pretty great. The test hands, I'll probably do in another video. But yeah, that's really all I got for this video. I'm really happy with the new format that Konami has created, and we're still experimenting. So we haven't had any like official play yet in this format. So who knows? Maybe board breakers aren't the way to go. Maybe it is hand traps. Uh, there's a whole bunch of cards I'm still testing in the game that just have 0 points. Like for example, enemy controller. That card has 0 points, and I was testing it out to see if it was good enough to play, and I just figured I rather had to spell in trap removal and Twin Twister and Cosmic over that card. Another card you're probably wondering why it's not in the main deck, but it's in the side deck, is Punk Amazing Dragon. So Punk Amazing Dragon is an amazing card. It bounces a lot of cards back to hand. However, I usually only make this card going into back row decks. So usually, like if I was going against, let's say, a Labyrinth or something, or a deck that was wants to set 5 and pass, I would just set up a quick synchro play on my opponent's turn to bounce all their cards back to hand using Amazing Dragon. However, I don't know how prominent back row decks are going to be in this format, and there's a lot of space in the extra deck that is just taken to the point that I figured I'd rather side deck this card against most decks, and then if I ever go into a back row deck, put it into the main deck. Now, what do I take out for this card? I would probably take out the fusion monster in the form of either the Axon Oracle or the Pinballer, depending on the matchup. So that ultimately depends there. The reason why I have so much back row removal in this deck in the form of Twin Twister and Cosmic is just because back row removal is just at a premium in this format. Usually on main deck 3 Lightning Storm or side deck 3 Lightning Storm and a Harpies, but they're like 40 points each, which is just way too much. And the other alternatives are just way too expensive as well. Luckily for us, Twin Twister and Cosmic are free. Not to mention Cosmic has always had synergy with our deck because paying life points feels good. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this list, and I can't wait to show you the new version of this deck in our modern format in another video. But this is Genesys format, post Doom Dimensions, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I'll probably make a video later, either today or tomorrow, with a combo tutorial. But that's all I got for you all. Enjoy, like, and subscribe. Another card I consider was Super Poly. Super Poly is just a really interesting card because of the brand new Axon kicker, which is just really, really nice. But ultimately, I think I decided against it just due to the fact that I just didn't think Super Poly was just good enough. But who knows? Maybe you can all tell me that, oh, you're playing Psychics, you might as well play Super Poly. But they're 10 points each. I just felt like it was not... I didn't want to spend 30 points on just Super Poly. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Don't think stupid. See you on the next one, and bye-bye.